Are you good to go?
Okay, I now call the September 8th, 2025 meeting into order. We will start with the land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that the Students' Union operates on the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, and Neutral peoples. This land is part of the Haldeman Tract, which was promised to the Six Nations, and we recognize the enduring presence of the Indigenous peoples on this territory. Moving on to regrets, I have received regrets from Director Rutherford and Director Shigano, who couldn't be here today, and one absence of Director Ward, who will be late, I presume. And are there any conflicts of interest to declare? No? No? Okay. No interest. And okay. So before we move on to the adoption of the agenda, I want to thank Ian for that marvelous training. Thank you. And okay, so can I have a motion that the Board of Directors adopt the agenda as presented? Motion by Vice Chair Ferguson, seconded by Director Murphy. Is there any discussion on the matter? No? Okay, then let's move on to voting. All those opposed? All those abstaining? And all those in favor? Motion passes. Wait, Dr. DiLolo? Motion passes 0-0 to 7. Thank you. Okay. I think we finished that. Okay. And then we're going to the agenda comments, right, Ian? Yeah, okay. So moving on to the adoption of the consent agenda. These are the monitoring reports that have been sent in by President Joby over the past couple of months. Is there any discussion on the matter before we get into the adoption or the passing of it? No? No questions? No. Do you have any comments? No. Do we adopt it first and then go into the discussion, or?
So if there's one of the modern reports that you'd like to deal with or ask a question about, you can adopt the consent agenda with the exception of that particular modern report, and
Okay.
then that specific modern report would transfer to the agenda, and then you would deal with it. So if there are issues, perfectly legitimate to pull them out of the consent agenda. So you would just you would motion to adopt the consent agenda with the exception of whatever the one that you want to talk about it, and then that would kind of bump down to the next agenda item on the regular session.
Perfect. Okay. Do you have any then?
Yeah, in that case, could I motion to adopt the consent agenda with the exception of EL number 2B, treatment of staff?
Okay, treatment and staff, perfect. Are there any other ones? I would like to as well adopt the consent agenda with the exception of which one is it? Yeah, EL 2A, 1A as well. Okay. Can I have a motion that the Board of Directors adopt the consent agenda with the exception of EL2B treatment of staff and EL #2A, 1A? Motion by Director Anas, seconded by Vice Chair Ferguson. Is there any discussion on the matter? No? Okay. Moving on to voting. All those opposed? All those abstaining? And all those in favor? Motion passes 0-0 to 7. Thank you. Okay. And then are those now added on the agenda? And then we just discuss it? Okay, next. Okay. Okay, Vice Chair Ferguson, did you want to discuss EL2B treatment of staff?
Yeah, so I'll do this as quick as possible, but for EL2B section 4, it was reported as non-compliant. Just to kind of go through what it is, allow staff to be unacquainted with the president's interpretations of their protections under this policy, and as a result it was told to refer to the next section in terms of reasoning. And that's because of the fifth section, which is allow staff to be unprepared to deal with emergency situations. And this, I believe, is because of the fact that two of the safety wardens are no longer working with the student union. As part of the section being reported as non-compliant, it's been noted that due to the recent staff vacancies, basically the role is going to be fulfilled from the onboarding of the new HR general's position. That being one person, I'm assuming.
The HR general's position?
Yes.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay, so that being one person, and then when I took a look at the appendix.
Oh, sorry. The completed with the onboarding of that individual in the sense of when that individual is onboarded, they will help with the selection of two new people.
Oh, they
So
will help
yeah,
with
so
this.
they are not one person that is meant to compensate for the two that we lost. They are a new HR position that we have within the students union, and through onboarding them and having them work with the students union, it is through them that we will place two replacements, not they are going to replace the two that we
Gotcha.
lost.
That was more so my concern.
Mm.
And the two vacant positions, I'm assuming everybody knows about that, and that emergency warden list has been updated.
Yes, that's correct. So the two vacant positions, so the two vacant people were Meg Bagley, who worked in the office here on the second floor, and Andy Nielsen, who had the responsibility of the turret on the third floor. Those are both positions that have been vacant over months, and the staff within the students union have been made aware that they have left the organization. But as also mentioned in the monitoring report, we still do have other fire wardens for both of those levels to ensure that in the need of an emergency exit, that we have other people within the students union who are able to accommodate to those. So those updates have been provided to the staff. And then as mentioned in the report as well, once the other two staff members have been decided on who will take their place, that will also be made aware to everyone else within the office.
Gotcha, perfect. Has there been a timeline on when that generalist position is to be selected?
So the HR generalist has been onboarded, and I believe that's part of our updates to provide for today to you guys in our comments later in the agenda. They were hired on to the students union after our August board meeting. So that person has been working for the students union for a couple of weeks now, have kind of gone through the onboarding process, and now with the craziness of orientation done, they'll probably look to fill in those gaps soon. So the HR representative for the organization has been hired, and those fire warden representatives will be selected shortly.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions on EL treatment of staff? No? Okay. I did have a question. It does talk about safety preparedness for students as well in the event of like, lockdowns and fires, whatever. I wanted to ask more on like, what is the policy for general like students as well? Like, do we have fire drills in the event that like there's a lockdown? What happens then?
In terms of policies for student procedures,
Yes.
it wasn't
I don't
anything
think-
that was outlined as it pertains to this executive limitation.
Right.
The fire warden position was more so for evacuation of those within the office and the 2-4 and the turret spaces. So they have the responsibilities of just evacuating all those within the space itself
Okay.
to the nearest safe area.
Okay, thank you.
And very quick response, there is a fire drill usually done on one on each campus, usually in September. If I had to guess, which I don't have to guess because I have an email, that will likely happen sometime this week, possibly next week. And then in terms of anything more elevated, it is the hope and expectation of special constable services and all those kind of tasked with the safety of campus that all students have an active SafeHawk app on their phone, alerting them to any situation on campus that would require emergency action on their part. And ultimately, all emergency action is led by either the Department of Special Constable Services or that of, I can never remember what the letters stand for, Safety, Health, Emergency Response, something. SHRM is the answer to that question. They're the ones who do all the safety planning. And everything is led through those two departments.
And to follow up on that too, all adequate signage does exist in our buildings. So in terms of fire routes and fire exits, all of the visible signage is there on the exits if needed by students in the event that they aren't bound by those who are able to liaise them out of the building.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
You'll just have to approve those two monitoring reports if you're satisfied with the explanations.
Okay. Are there any other comments or concerns? No? Okay. I also had to have some comments for the other one, so should I just do them all at once or one by one?
It's up to you. You can do them all at once if you
Okay.
feel like.
Okay, then we'll just go to. Okay, so for EL2A, which is executive limitations. 1 second, let me just get the name.
Treatment of consumers.
Treatment of consumers, thank you. In 1A, we talk about will not measure, what is it? Will not operate member-focused facilities and member-focused services that do not measure member satisfaction and usage. In the evidence, you talk about the Students' Union Executive Leadership Team intends on boothing in the concourse and other high traffic areas on campus. I wanted to ask, when will that start? And can we have that team sort of like coming to the board or giving us some sort of like report on what students say, and like having that sort of like direct line of communication with them?
Yeah, for sure. So the hope is to start kind of mid to end of September with it. And
Okay.
again, as mentioned, it's the expectation that we're going to be doing it on a bi-weekly basis, or sorry, it doesn't specifically say in the monitoring report, but
Yeah.
the expectation with our team is to be doing it on a bi-weekly basis on both of the campuses.
Okay.
So that is a more informal way for us to kind of interact with students, meet them on the ground, and get them more casual feedback. But that's also something that we're going to tie to one of the projects that myself and my vice president of government stakeholder relations is planning for the year, that is student consultation related. And so as that project begins to iron itself out a bit more and I have more concrete details, that is also something that I was going to bring forward to the board as it ties together to student feedback and evidence that we can bring forward of what our consumers feelings and opinions are of our organization. So that project itself will have a formalized report that we will complete at the end of it, which is something that I will be able to follow up with in terms of when that report is available and the dates for that. But as it pertains to the boothing itself and wanting to talk to the executive leadership team, I'm sure that's something that I'd be happy to bring them into the board meeting for and discuss more about how we find that our interactions with students during those boothing opportunities is beneficial in taking student feedback.
Thank you. Yes.
So it is worth noting that Ryan is the leader of the executive leadership. So there is a representative of that group here at every board meeting. So in the event that Ryan cannot be here for whatever reason, his VP of internal operations, Danielle Dobbs, will take his place and be able to comment on anything to that effect.
Okay, thank you. Then in that case, can we have like some sort of like list that you give us from students and stuff like that? And
List of
like, let's say you're talking to students and they say this and this and this and this is an issue. Can you like give us like a list of the issues that they tell you? Is that possible? Which is what I want.
Sounds to me like you're asking for a summary of the feedback that they receive from students, yes?
Yes, yes.
Yes. So, yeah, I will do it in a two-pronged approach of I'm happy to compile a general summary of the conversations and themes that we noticed through our conversations with students. Obviously, it's going to be hard for myself and my team to recount every
Everything.
individual concern and conversation that we have with students, but the general themes will be pretty synonymous amongst all of the conversations we have. So if you'd like that to be a rolling agenda item where as we meet throughout the months, if you wanted me to bring that general summary document forward and discuss those points, I'd be happy to do that. So that'd be one way that we can have that feedback shared. And then again, the other point would be that formalized report at the end of the project with myself and Shyok.
That sounds good.
But yeah, that's something I'm happy to do.
That sounds good. Yeah. Do you have any comments or concerns? No? Yes, Vice Chair Ferguson?
Yeah, so just one question on that exact same sort of, so feedback is reported as compliant, and I understand that. Within respect to the feedback form on the website itself,
Mhm.
how can we determine, like, has that form been utilized? Like, do we have any sort of facts on that form being utilized? Yeah.
Yeah, so I respond to a lot of the SU, both the feedback form as well as the SU feedback at wlu.ca email address. And they're both used on a fairly consistent basis. Right now, there's a lot of inquiries flowing into the organization about health and dental opt-outs, as well as generally we're in a pretty heavy kind of fee inquiry period. So all two of those channels are very much active, and we're trying to turn around those responses as quickly as they come in.
Gotcha. Thanks.
Thank you, Vice Chair Ferguson. If there are no other comments, we'll move on to voting. No, okay. Can I have a motion that the Board of Directors approves the amended agenda items of EL2B treatment of staff, and EL2A treatment of consumers. Motioned by Vice Chair Ferguson, seconded by Director Bilodeau, sorry, Director Murphy. Is there any discussion on the matter? No? Okay. I think we've discussed enough. Let's move on to voting then. All those opposed, all those abstaining, and all those in favor? Thank you. Motion passes 0-0 to 7. Thank you so much. Okay, moving on to meeting minutes approval. Is there any discussion on the matter? No? Okay. Can I have a motion that the Board of Directors approves the August 2025 meeting minutes? A motion by Vice Director Murphy, seconded by Director Bilodeau. Is there any discussion on the matter? No? No? Okay. Moving on to voting. All those opposed, all those abstaining, and all those in favor. Motion passes 0-0 to 7. We will now be moving on to comments from the chair. Okay. So I'd like to first of all welcome you all to our very first in-person. It's just like the canine. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'd like to welcome you all to our very first in-person meeting. I'm very happy to see all of your faces. I hope your summers have been well. Welcome back to our fall meetings. I hope your classes go well and everything else is fine. Ryan, you don't go to classes anymore? No. This doesn't apply to you. Okay, just a couple updates. We had the Ownership Linkage Committee booths in Brantford and Waterloo last week, and they went well. I'm sure we'll get a report from the OLC committee soon, but it's been successful. I'd like to welcome as well the audience that we have here today. Hello, guys, welcome. And yeah, I think that's about it for me. Please keep your schedules on hand as we will be discussing our fall meeting schedule later on. And are there any other comments? No? Okay. Yeah, no, okay. Okay, so we're moving on to comments from President Joby.
Thank you, Lulia. To echo your initial comments, hello, everyone. Happy to see these faces in person, and happy to kind of get started with the school year, and hopefully your classes have been going well, or if not, will end up start going well. In terms of updates, I mean, the really large one is that we've just completed with orientation, which is our largest section of programming throughout the year. So it was widely successful on both campuses. Student engagement was really through the roof, both in Waterloo and Brantford. And the team all around is very happy with how it went. My vice presidents and associate vice presidents of programming and services have done an absolutely stellar job putting together the programming. And it was a really all hands on deck effort to put on something really amazing for students. So I was really happy with how it went. And much gratitude goes towards the team at the Students Union for helping propel such an amazing event yet again. So hoping this kind of sets the tone for what the year is going to be like. And post-orientation things will be starting to go back to normal. So working groups, meetings, hiring committees, etc., will kind of start ramping back up. In the interest of hiring committees, some institutional vice president hiring updates. So for the vice president of student affairs, that search is underway. There have been 4 candidates that have been chosen, and interviews are supposed to be beginning next week. So we have that tentative date and timing locked into our calendars. The actual timing for the interviews has yet to be sent, but I believe will be sent to us this coming week. So kind of just waiting on the go ahead and confirmation for those dates and times. For the vice president of finance and administration, those candidates will be shared the following week. So the week of the 22nd, there will be a meeting with all of those on that interview and hiring panel to share who the candidates or applicants are for that position. So September is kind of the month of VP hiring, or the month that VP hiring starts. So it'll be a busy time for myself as I am there to assist and provide an amplified student voice in those groups. And as I mentioned, things will start to be going back to normal with regular meetings and regular working groups, etc. Other than that, the team has been doing really well with kind of pushing forward some of their passion projects and ideas for the year. As the year starts to begin, that planning phase has kind of transitioned more into an implementation phase. So really just happy to see how the team has been doing as they kind of, begin to really take the reins on their position and their work for the year. And really try to hone in on some of the stuff that they've been wanting to do. And the same goes for myself as well. As I mentioned, a big project for myself and my vice president of government stakeholder relations is something that we've begun working on ironing out the details of and launching in the fall. So just excited to see things get out there, and excited to see what the fall term and winter term holds. But yeah, that is the main things to update.
Thank you, President Joby. You forgot the most important one. Welcoming Ian.
Oh, yes. Yes. Biggest update of all. Ian is back. He was so dearly missed. So very happy to have his face back in the office. But yeah, that is now it.
Sure.
Yeah. My birthday is next week, and if any of you cared.
What's today?
Yeah, exactly a week from today. I turned 22, and that the number of my age just doesn't stop increasing. So that part's getting scary, but yeah, what can you do?
Welcome back. Welcome to adulthood. Woohoo! Right. Never gets old. Okay. Thank you, President Joby, for that, and happy birthday in advance. Okay, and moving on to comments from Phil.
There we go. Most of this is just going to be a repeat, but I am going to get a little bit specific with some of the things. I'd like to welcome all the students back and the board members back to their respective campuses, and thank them for their time today and for the meetings moving forward. I would like to send a special and direct shout out to the following members of the orientation folks. So Satchpreet Karda, Alex Kuhlenkamp, and Sarah Hudson that played a pivotal role in developing and executing the Brantford orientation program. And Maria Gonzalez, Emily Myatt, and Matilda Morrison for doing the same thing on the Waterloo campus. And all the student volunteers and staff that helped out. It was, as Ryan suggested, an all hands on deck as we were a little bit short staffed. All told though, every event that I saw and heard back from was really well attended. In fact, we had to turn people away from a sexy bingo event, which nobody saw coming. But I guess that's a good problem to have and good information to have moving forward for the rest of this year, as well as next year's orientation program. I'd like to welcome Elise Borman to the staff team. She is officially our human resources generalist. Happy to bring her to a board meeting at a time of your choosing to kind of do a quick introduction. She is alumni, and we are glad to welcome her back. As for the hospitality GM, we had an unsuccessful offer during the first effort to hire a GM. And we are in the process of coming to an agreement with the Graduate Students Association to second Tara Robinson from the Veritas Cafe for half of her time. So she'll be splitting leadership responsibilities between our hospitality units here on the Waterloo campus and those of the Graduate Students Association, which includes the Veritas Cafe as well as the mini market and any of their other business operations. Tara is well experienced in the areas of hospitality, both in the private sector as well as with Laurier. She started working for the Students Union, I think the same week that I did, if not the exact same day that I did, back in a year that need not be named, given the 22 years old problem that we just experienced, because it was definitely before you were born, Ryan. At any rate, we're excited to kind of have her in the fold. She's someone that I trust both personally and professionally, and we think she'll do an excellent job leading our hospitality team through this year and potentially develop a whole new concept of student service and food operations for the student associations moving forward. Pretty excited about that. The programming and events manager, it looks as though we are going to be going into second round interviews as the direct hiring managers are having a bit of a disagreement on candidates. So there are 2 candidates that will be moving forward. We look forward to inviting them to campus and meeting with our new hiring panel and hopefully coming to a decision sooner rather than later. With regards to our marketing content creator, The HireFlix interviews have been sent out to those successful candidates, and those are being reviewed for in-person interviews. Hopefully, those will start later this week. Am I missing anybody in the hiring front? I think that's it for now. And then one thing I'd like to add, maybe to the other business part of the agenda, is I would like to replace the board members' 50th anniversary logo on the website with your bright shining faces at some point. So maybe at the next meeting, if we could all just dress up a little bit, we could maybe do some headshots for the board members. That would be wonderful. But I'll leave that up to you. And that's about it for me.
Okay, thank you so much, Phil. The headshots actually sounds great because I was about to ask you about that. Yeah, guys, dress up next week. Next time we meet. You guys are already prepared. Congratulations. Foreshadowing there. All right. Thank you so much, Phil. I believe now we'll be discussing the governance election. We'll be talking about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I can take that. So we did have nominations open for a Brantford Senate spot. We didn't receive any packages for that, but actually works out okay because we have some additional spots that we have to fill. So if you'll remember back to May, we're one board member short. We're short a Brantford student for the board of directors. And there has subsequently been a spot opened up on the university's board of governors. So what we need the board to do is to set another timeline for nominations. All three of those positions can be elected by those students submitting packages and then coming to a board meeting, and then the board would vote on successful candidates for all three. Two of the three positions are specifically Brantford students, and I know the university would also welcome a Brantford student for the Board of Governors. So we can definitely do some targeted marketing towards the Brantford campus. But what we need today just is a timeline, both for opening nominations and then closing them ahead of a meeting where you all can hear their pitches.
Sorry, so did you say that the vacancy that's in the board does not, that means a Waterloo student cannot take the
Yeah,
role?
we only
Okay.
have one of our two required Brantford students today, so we
Okay.
do need a Brantford specific student, and then similarly, the Senate position is also one of the Senate roles that's for specifically for Brantford students.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So sorry. So for the Board of Governors vacancy, is it like campus specific or?
No, I know they would happily welcome a Brantford student, but
Okay.
the two board spots are not, their bylaws don't specify campus for the two undergraduate spots.
Perfect. Okay. And then the Senate vacancies are two from Brantford?
It's one opening
Brantford.
for a Brantford student.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
And then anything else? No. Okay. And then for the board of directors, we're looking at one director from Brantford and one from Waterloo, right?
There's just the one Brantford.
There's one Brantford?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect then.
So three students in total,
Three students in total.
one for each of our board, the University Senate, and the University Board of Governors.
Okay, so a lot of Brantford engagement then. Okay. Are there any comments, concerns, questions? No? Okay. Are you looking for a timeline from us specifically? Like,
Yeah, so a motion to open nominations as of, could be as early as tomorrow, and then a period to close. If there's any opinions from the board on how long you think that nomination period should be open. Do
okay.
we need two?
So it says we have 10, 12.
Yeah, that's why I was confused now.
I thought we were on.
12, we need one specific.
Oh, okay, I thought we were only short one.
No.
So it's two director positions for us. So it can be two Brantford students, but a minimum of one of them has to be a Brantford student. There's one Senate and two Board of Governors. So if they're all individuals, that would be 5 students that we're looking at. And I realized I didn't get it.
So two board of director, one Senate, one board of governor, so 4 total.
I thought there was 2 Board of Governors.
Pretty sure there's just one.
Okay, so 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll have to double check and get back to you, but we are confident that we're at 4.
Confident.
2 directors, one governor, and a senator.
There are spots.
Lots of opportunity for people to get involved.
Okay.
So sorry, so the two directors, that means one can be from the Waterloo campus?
Yes.
For the board of directors?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Director Murphy. Alrighty then. I think then like should we first like cement our fall meeting schedule, and then at that point we can say that we can have the thing by this date?
For sure.
Okay, so let's hold off on this and then we go into that. Okay, then I think next that we had on the agenda was the Finance Committee election. Alrighty, so the Finance Committee meets to discuss the finances of the Student Union. Who would have guessed? It's in the thing. The Finance Committee usually consists of the chair, that's me, and then the 3 directors. So do I have any nominations? This is where you either nominate yourself or you can nominate someone else on the board and you say, hi, I would like to stand on the. Okay, yes. So
I'd like to nominate myself.
Director Anas, do you stand for the Finance Committee?
Yeah.
There we go. Do we have other nominations? Director Ferguson, do you stand?
I'll stand. I'd like to nominate Connell Murphy, though. Director Murphy, yes. No, I'd also like to nominate Director Bilodeau.
It's not been on the whole time. Okay. All right. I think that is up for nominations. Sorry. So can I have a motion that the board elects, appoints or elects Directors Anas, Vice Chair Ferguson, and Director Bilodeau to the Finance Committee 2025 to 2026. Motioned by Director Murphy, seconded by Director Anas. Is there any discussion on the matter? No? Okay. Well then, let's proceed to voting. Is there any opposed? All those abstaining? And all those in favor? Motion passes 0-0 to 7. Congratulations to my directors. I will ask you all to stay behind after the meeting just so we can set up a meeting time, okay? Thank you. Now we shall be moving on to the fall meeting schedule. Yay! Okay, so this will be the most fun part of the meeting, I promise, because we're going to be looking at all of our times. As of right now, I've heard that Mondays will not be a good time for students because of certain things. So I, first of all, would like to have our meetings in the evenings. So how does that look like for all of you? Can I have a show of hands? Yes?
Right, sorry, was it students that can attend the meetings or directors?
Directors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some of our directors have classes on Mondays at 7 p.m. Yeah, even though I explicitly said don't, but they still did. So unfortunately, but still, your classes should come first before the board meetings anyway, so it's okay. With that being said, I want to have our meetings on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. How does that sound for everyone? Vice Chair Ferguson? 7? Okay, so 6?
I have a class that goes till it ends at 6:50.
6:50? So
Yeah.
7?
7 works, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Dr. Bilodeau?
I have a class from 7.
7 to 9. Okay. Director. It's frustrated with the meeting schedules, guys. Give it a shot.
I have a meeting on Thursdays for hiring and recruitment starting at 7.
Tuesday, Thursday.
Okay.
Sorry, it's the same class ends.
Okay, guys, listen. If any of the other days don't work, we're gonna have to have Fridays. Do you want to come to the board on Fridays, guys? No? Come on, make it work. Make it work with me. If we can't do Tuesdays and or is a meeting earlier in the day better then? Like around 1, 12 p.m.
Yeah, depends on.
Yeah,
Depends on the.
Depends on the day?
Yeah.
Okay.
that
Would that
works
work
way
for both
better.
of you?
Yes.
Yeah?
Early Monday works for me personally, like early today. I don't know about everyone else, but
Okay,
Really?
let me just
Yeah.
quickly look at
Yeah.
Shigano, Director Shigano's. Okay, so the directors that couldn't make it in today did send me their availability. And that means that we can make it. Okay. How does 11 a.m. sound
On Monday, you're talking about?
on Tuesday?
Ooh, Tuesday, no. I have a class at 11:30.
Okay.
Monday, yes. Wednesday, yes.
Monday, yes. Wednesday, yes. Yeah. I can't do 11 at all on Mondays and Wednesdays and Thursdays either, which sucks. But Tuesdays, how about is your meeting from 11 to 12
Sorry, which day?
on Tuesday?
On Tuesday at the class from 11:30 to 12:50.
12:15 or 50?
50, 50.
Okay. Guys, Friday's Friday's looking very free here, guys.
I mean, or Monday afternoon if that works. Anything like
I
that.
have a class on Monday afternoon. I mean, we could do two.
Tuesday afternoon works too. Yeah. Up until 7.
Tuesday afternoon.
Tuesdays are my like busiest days. Like I'm in class from 2:30 to 6:50 pretty much.
2:30 to 6:50.
Yeah, with like a 10-minute break in between
Okay.
the classes.
Director Gulido.
Tuesday afternoons would work for me.
Okay. How about we have a very tentative schedule of Fridays, because apparently that's the only day everyone's free. How does that sound, guys?
We could do like a Friday afternoon type thing.
Yeah.
Or like a Friday. Yeah, either Friday afternoon or Friday morning, just because if I
People have lives.
go home,
You go home what time?
like some Fridays, like I'll go back home, like to Pickering and stuff. So
If you can join us online, then it's okay.
yeah, that's
Okay.
fine too.
Well, it's with great happiness and great glee, I announce Fridays will be our board meetings days. Congratulations, everyone. So for timing, we can either have an early morning Friday meeting. Is that okay with you guys from the SU, by the way? Yeah.
We're all students union.
Yes.
Yeah, that works fine.
Yeah.
As long as we're not talking like 6 in the morning. But yeah, that'll be fine.
I vote 6 a.m. No, not gonna put that.
Sure.
Okay, how about we set up? Oh my, so up. Come on, so up.
Drop the coins.
No, you can't actually do that. Okay, we will have 11 a.m. from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Is that a good timing with everyone?
That works for me.
Yes?
Yeah, it works for me.
Okay, and for those that Blodo?
12. That's the only thing I have that day.
Yeah, Director Zhao?
My class ends at 11:20 on Friday.
11:20 on Friday. Okay. 12 to 1? No, 12:30? Sorry. 12:30, 1:20. Okay, so Director Anas has something from 12:30 to 1:20, which means we can either do 1:30 to 2:30. That was with you?
That works.
That works with everyone here? Director Zhao? Director Di Lolo? Di-Lo? Di-Lo. I've been calling her Di Lolo this whole time. Yes. Okay. Wow, Di Lolo, but it's Di Lo. Perfect then. Fridays, 1:30 p.m. 30 p.m. Times. I do know that we need a motion on that. So should we first set the dates? We haven't invited you.
Yeah, bi-weekly.
Okay, starting from next week then. Or the week.
We'll be starting the 26th. Okay.
Yeah, okay, so can I have a motion from the board of directors? That's right, that the board of directors approves, September 26th, from 1:30 to 2:30. Okay. September 26th, 10th. October 24th. And then 4th, 7th, and November 7th. And 21st. Have you guys got all that? Okay, the 21st and then December 5th. December 5th. Do we need to go longer than that?
Usually just do the one December meeting.
Okay, perfect. Then December 5th, 2025 is our meeting dates for the fall meeting schedule. Was there any discussion on the matter?
Yeah, just one quick comment. Director Bilodeau and I may have to miss the next one on the 26th because we're going home. But we may be able to join online, but I just want to let you know that in advance.
Thank you for letting me know in advance. Okay, perfect. As long as you can join us online, that's perfectly okay. Is there any discussion on the matter in regards to the meeting dates or times? No? So can we go to voting then? Yeah? Okay. Are there any opposed? Are there any abstaining? And all those in favor? Dr. DiLolo? Okay, vote passes, the motion passes 0-0-7. I'll see you all on Fridays now, guys. If you didn't get all the dates, the invites will be sent to you by email, so you should be able to include that onto your calendars at some point. And okay, now that we have our fall meeting schedule passed, we're going back to the governance election then. Is a 2-week time frame okay, Ian, for the governance election?
Yeah, I think I mean, if we can always extend if need be, but I think aiming for the 26th is probably a good call.
Cool. Okay. Perfect. Then can I have a motion that the governance election process is opened starting is passed starting today, the 8th of September, and will be closed by the next board meeting, which will be the 26th of September.
We do the 25th at noon. That allows us some time to
25th at noon?
turn around the packages.
Will be closed on the 25th of September at noon, which will give us enough time just before the 26th meeting. Is there any comments or decisions on the matter? No? No. Okay. Can we move on to voting then? Are any opposed? All those abstaining? And all those in favor? Motion passes 0-0-7. We're excited to see what we will hear from them. Okay, now we'll be moving on to the Brantford SLL Student Life Levy Committee.
Yes, so as you saw in the package, the Brantford Student Life Levy is a fund that's collected through student fees, Brantford specific. So Brantford students pay this Brantford Student Life Levy fee. Just for some context, there used to be a Waterloo equivalent, but when that fee was up for renewal, Waterloo students did not approve its continuation. So as of right now, it's a Brantford specific initiative. Basically, students have the ability to pitch different enhancements to student life. And then the committee, which is a mixture of students union, people, board members, and university personnel meet to adjudicate the proposals and then distribute funds. So there's been lots of great projects across both campuses when it was a multi-campus project, infrastructure upgrades to student spaces, some great kind of events and conferences. It's not intended to be one-time only funding. So what we're looking for today are some people to serve on that committee. There's one meeting per semester. So from a time commitment standpoint, it's pretty light. You receive a package of the proposals a week or so in advance. And then we have a meeting and you can kind of share your feedback on those projects. So can answer any questions, or otherwise it would be an election for if there are more people that would like to serve on it than there are spaces.
So there are 3 positions and 2 of which are supposed to be for the Brantford board members, but there's only 1 current Brantford board member. Gotcha. Do we leave that one vacant if we don't get anybody, or what do we do?
Yeah, probably worth
Okay.
So
Since the
just to be clear, then two board members from Brantford have to sit on this committee,
That's correct.
and then one can be from Waterloo.
Yes,
Correct.
and then Lulia by default also serves and is the chair of the SLL committee.
Okay.
So by default, the Brantford board member is on. So we're looking for basically 1 person.
Do you want to ask a question?
Yeah. Yes, I just had a question. What was the reason we got rid of the Waterloo Campus Student Life Committee?
The fee went to referendum and more students said they didn't want to pay the fee than did, so. It was a fee that was brought about through successful referendum. And the way that our ancillary fees work, if a fee is brought by referendum, it can also be taken away by referendum. So enough students voted to discontinue it.
Is there any other discussion on the matter? No? Okay. And just for clarification, are we voting in members?
Just need one, we're gonna, so recommendation was to leave the 1 spot open for
Brentford?
the successful Brantford director will be in place in time to participate in the meeting because they're not till later in the fall. So we just need the 1 extra Waterloo director to join.
I'd like to nominate Director Murphy.
I keep turning it on. I promise it does. But anyways, are there any other nominations for the committee? Director Bilodeau, do you stand? Okay, great.
I'd like to nominate Director Zhao.
Director Zhao, do you stand? No.
Can I nominate Director Rutherford? I know he's not here, but can we come back to it?
Can you nominate a director that's not here?
I mean, it's a bit shady, but
But he wouldn't be able to stand, so we just automatically let him in.
Historically, this has been one of the committees that directors have enjoyed the most because you essentially get to contribute to students having some funding for some pretty interesting projects, and the time commitment is pretty low. So it is a good opportunity.
That is true. I sat on the Brantford Student Life Levy Committee last year as the vice chair. It was very fun because we got to pass a lot of very fun projects, and there was a lot of money that we were just like, go ahead. It was great. It was a very great time.
There's also some good networking opportunities with some of the university leadership.
Yeah, great networking. You get a lot of organizational skills. You get to learn a lot. No, we haven't been told yet. Dr. Ines, I'd like to nominate you for the Brantford Student Life Levy Committee. Do you stand?
Yeah, I stand.
Congratulations, we have Dr. Ines. Okay, can I get a motion that the Board of Directors approves Dr. Ines's nomination to the Brantford Student Life Levy Committee? Motion by Dr. Bilodeau. I like how you guys were the first ones. Seconded by Dr. Zhao. Is there any discussion on the matter? No? No questions? No. Yes?
The meeting, it's on Brantford. Right?
It's online.
Oh.
Yeah, no need to go to Brantford. Okay then, we'll proceed to voting. There are no other comments or concerns. No? Okay. So, are there any opposed? Any abstaining? And all those in favor? Motion passes 0027. Congratulations, Dr. Anas.
Come on.
I'm sure you are. Just give me 1 second. Okay, I will be moving to the Aramark.
Yep, this is just for information, so no need to vote, but we can certainly have a discussion if there are questions, but ultimately the agreement with Aramark. So Aramark is the food service provider on campus here, so they operate on the Waterloo campus, the fresh food company, all the retail outlets that are not the fresh food company, so Starbucks, Bite 75, Subway, Tim Hortons, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They operate everything outside of this building from a food service operation on the Waterloo campus on behalf of the university. And then it becomes a three-party agreement because they operate the Terrace Food Court operations on behalf of the Students' Union. And they don't have any kind of jurisdiction over Wilf's here. So ultimately, that agreement is coming to an end. They've enacted a clause inside the agreement that is current. So we've extended a 1-year extension of the current agreement, and they have submitted an unsolicited bid to continue the contract. And as a result, that's ultimately going to be triggering an RFP process. So that's a request for proposal process by the university to ultimately have the new food service contract in place before the Associate Vice President of Student and Ancillary Services, Dan Dawson, retires at the end of this academic year. That's the goal. So ultimately, this is just to inform the board that we will be going to RFP with the university because the part of the contract that involves our Terrace Food Court operations is all part and parcel of that contract. So everything else is inside the briefing note. Happy to field any questions.
Are there any questions for Phil at this moment? No? Okay.
Easy breezy.
Sorry?
I said easy breezy.
Easy breezy, yeah. Just, I know this is in the briefing note, but just as a question.
Aramark, so COVID kind of made things weird as it did with the rest of the world. So we've been in partnership with Aramark. Oh, I don't even remember how long it's been, but it's been about 15 years all told. It's in the briefing note, I think, if I remember the briefing note correctly. I don't have that right in front of me, but yeah.
Okay. It just doesn't like me. Alrighty then. Thank you for that. I believe this means that we are going into the in-camera session. So can I have a motion that the Board of Directors proceed to an in-camera session? Motion by Director Murphy, seconded by Vice Chair Ferguson. Any discussion on the matter? No?
I emailed the meeting, so the online directors have an email with the in-camera meeting link.
Okay, perfect. Our online directors, can you please go into the meeting by Ian? Yes. Yeah, we'll be finishing earlier than that.
We actually need you for quorum because
Yeah.
I think there's a decision to be made, but we'll be quick.
Yeah, we'll be very quick. So I'll see you all in camera. Thank you.
So everybody that